Small update. We got Sunday, the 21st of April. Just realized that is exactly 2 months after I decided in December that if certain things were not accomplished, then by the 21st of February I would be on hormone treatment. So, being here on the 21st of April and I'm still not on any official treatment, well, that's an interesting development. But I made some videos about why I changed my mind on that. You can go back, look at it. No reason to waste time on it here. But I like to recap a little bit because tomorrow is going to be a very important day. It's going to be a more important day than any of the other days where I've been making my PSA tests. Because prior to the last PSA test, certain things changed. I wanted it to see if I could have this lowered without any use at all of medicine, so I stopped doing Fenbendazole. And in addition to that, I have to make my own curcumin capsules. I ran out of the one I bought, and I just couldn't be bothered figuring out how to use this machine to make it. So in the full month prior to the last PSA test, I didn't use curcumin either. So that was two things that was out of the game. I had started a few months ago, 3-4 months ago, with the CBD oil or cannabis oil, but have been working a little bit in blind. I knew very quickly that with the RSO you got to have a gram a day, 1,000 milligram, but to get my hands on RSO seems to be difficult. It was very expensive, and then I realized I could make it myself, so I've been in that process. And now I have also realized that the majority who's treating cancer seems to be using a RSO ratio of 4:1 THC to CBD, which means that it is a very strong THC solution that they're using. So I have got that and I've made that, and when I got my bad result the last time, it rose from I think 83 to 96. Then I realized I had to go all in. It was also at that time I found out that I had access to real apricot seeds, which is the source of amygdalin. So I've started that a little earlier than that, but I was doing that with powder. But now, more or less the whole month, I've been on full doses on amygdalin as well. My Fenbendazole has been on half the protocol, 900 milligrams. But a few days ago I changed that to 600 milligrams because I'm a little nervous about my liver with that one, because I'm not doing the full Monty on the Fenbendazole, and there seems to be some consensus that you have to have certain add-ons to the pills if you want to be merciful on your liver. I've not done that, but I've also only been on the half protocol, so I don't know how much damage there would be. That brings me to tomorrow. But tomorrow is not just going to be a PSA test. It's going to be a test where I'm going to test the whole shebang. It's going to do the A1C for the diabetes risk just to check. It's going to be testosterone level. It's going to be the PSA. But it's also going to be all the blood count, platelets and all that that I've done a few times before. Just to see, now that I've been on the carnivore for like 10 months or so, how has that impacted my whole blood work. So, but the reason why it's going to be a very interesting day tomorrow and a very, very important day tomorrow is because, as I've said, I am now on full protocol on amygdalin. I am on half protocol on Fenbendazole, which is on both accounts much more than it was prior to the last PSA. But more importantly, up to the last PSA, I did 100 milligrams a day of CBD oils, or THC CBD. But it was without knowing which one I had to use specifically, if it was the THC or the CBD working. So I was doing predominantly the Thai strain of squirrel tail, which is allegedly a 50-50%, but it's a very low THC. So I don't know if it's a very good one. So I know that once I found out that you have to use a ratio of 4:1 THC to CBD, and it has to be a strong one, then I start shopping for the Night Move, which is 26% THC, and the Sour Super Haze, which is 18% CBD and 2% THC. And then I mix them in the ratio of 4:1, and I make my suppositories with that, because that is also what I finally figured out just before the last PSA, was how to make suppositories. And so, no, actually, no, I found out that a couple of weeks ago. But I could take higher doses, and I did. And so the last 7 days I've been on a doses of an average of 1,203 milligrams, 7 days, and the requirement is 1,000 milligrams. So let me just finish that, how I do this. The suppositories, what I do is I have 5 milliliters in one little ice cube, so to speak, and I am mixing my oils in a 4-to-1 ratio with the RSO, which the CBD THC content is also in the 4-to-1 ratio, so it's easy to remember. But then I have that mixture poured in each of these tubes, and that means I've got a total of 5 milliliters of content and 1 gram of 1,000 milligram of RSO in each. So I take them out of the fridge, because this is coconut oil and it solidifies at 24 degrees. So I'll take that out of the fridge and I'll cut it in half, being in 60%. So I got a 40% nut, and that one I'll use in the morning before 10 o'clock typically, and then I'll have the 60%, the 600 milligram in turn, that I'll use that about 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I also like to take 100 to 250 milligrams orally of CBD or THC just before I go to bed, because it will be a high dose, but I'll sleep it off. I won't recognize it. But that brings me to somewhere between 1,100 and 1,250 milligram a day. And like I said, I've been in it for a week now, for 7 days, and with an average of 1,203. And that's why I'm also saying that tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day, because every single time I previously make my PSA test, I've always been confident that even if it went in the wrong direction, it's not a disaster, because I still have aces up my sleeve. I still have things to do. I'm still not there. But at this very specific test tomorrow, the only thing I can do better is doing more. I cannot do better than what I'm doing right now. I mean, obviously you could have 2 grams of RSO a day if you want to, but I don't think that makes much of a difference. I think the real deal is to make sure you make it on the 1,000 milligram. So tomorrow, there's no way around it. If it doesn't work, then I got a problem. I'll update you on it when I get the blood test. But until next time, as always, stay healthy.